Welcome to Joe's Astrology, and this is not going to be a astrology video. Well, it's astrology and tarot; they go together. I want to talk about the tarot cards and specifically the Fool card. And if you're into astrology and you're watching this video, if I was you, I would get acquainted with tarot as well, and you'll see why as this video goes on. Also, a book that I recommend if you're into tarot. This is by Eileen Connolly, A New Handbook for the Apprentice. She also has another great book called The Journeyman. And the Fool card is represented by Pluto. And the reason why the Fool card is Pluto is you can see the girl on the card with the dog. She's got the white dog. She's got her, I don't know what you call that, but like knapsack or bag with her that she's taking on her journey, and she's at the edge of a cliff. And that's the reason why Pluto is associated with this, because she's taking a risk and she's going into the unknown. And by going out into the unknown, she really doesn't know what's gonna happen, but she's showing that she's willing to make the change. And this card can have some negative associations with it, and I see it more as positive. But in our culture today, we see with Pluto as well, Pluto can have some negative associations with it. And part of the reason that is, from my perspective, is that people don't utilize including myself, I'm guilty of this too, people don't utilize the full energy properly. And most of the time, it can be a number of different things. It could be because they don't have faith. It could be because they just, in their head, they just don't have the knowledge and at the time to figure things out. And I'll give you some examples of what I mean by that. But yeah, before I do that, in the culture today, you see a lot of the Fool card being played out is in people taking risks and kind of like jumping out over the cliff and then climbing back up and going back, or maybe better said, climbing back down into their hole, into their cave. So, for example, you'll see, sexually speaking, you'll see this a lot with a lot of people. They'll go out on a Friday night and they'll have this great experience, or they'll have this sexual experience, and then they'll never talk to the person again. And this could be a number of different things, but in some cases, I'm sure it's what I'm describing is similar to this Fool card. You'll see people get into relationships as well. They'll get into relationships, or they'll even short-term relationships, and then they'll break up because they're really, from their perspective, their consciousness, they're doing something that they wouldn't normally do. Like maybe it's a person they wouldn't normally date. Maybe it's part of their dark side that they're not comfortable expressing, and that being with this person represents that. And then they'll go back into being single, or go back to the relationships that they're used to. You could see this with jobs, with people that will try to go into riskier jobs, and then they'll jump back to what they're used to. And you could even see it with travel, and this is popular nowadays too. People would just get on a plane and go to a foreign country, and sometimes it'll be with like a group. It's in like this safe, controlled way, and it gives them that Pluto thrill. It gives them that feeling of going off the cliff into the unknown. But that's not the positive expression, the true expression of the Fool card. Because many of these people, and they're probably not meant to do this, but eventually what's going to happen is they are going to go over that cliff. They are going to go into the unknown, and they're going to fully embrace the unknown. And you can see some of the examples that I gave in a person that would do that. And yeah, it's Plutonian. They'll lose relationships over it. They'll have people look at them differently and look at them as if they're bad or evil, because Pluto can represent that as well. As they're doing the wrong things, they can have judgments on their character, etc. But in reality, the way I see it, if they're successful in pulling it off, they are someone to be looked up to, especially when they're successful. They're doing it in a positive manner. Like, take the example of somebody who, let's say you can look in their astrology and see that they really are have a life path of deconditioning themselves and really going for this thing, and it's eventually going to happen. They can be applauded for that. They can be respected for that, and people can look up to them and say, "Look, if this person is brave." At the very least, I wouldn't say that if they can do it, I can do it, but they can say this person is brave. They have courage, and there's somebody to look up to, and that's the Fool card and its positive expression. And from there, at the end of the journey, that's the first card of the major arcana in the tarot, and this is the last card. I'm not going to get into the specifics and what happens in between during that journey, but in the end, if you successfully accomplish that, you get the world. You get that the world opening up to you. You have the experience, full experience of the world. And I want to read, or you could even say new worlds open up to you. Like, if you think of worlds in a sense that each time you take this journey, a new world opens up to you. I'm going to read an excerpt from this book. It's a meditation, and I'll leave you with this. I'll finish this video with this. Each precious day we can begin our journey like the Fool, completely untouched by any event the day may bring and by any emotions. Fearing nothing, we trust God implicitly, knowing full well we are divinely guided and always protected. Feel the fresh innocence of this godlike soul, free to go wherever he desires. Try to understand how he is totally filled with the Holy Spirit. Free of fear, he truly knows himself and values the experiences of all his past experience. Listen to his song, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Before your day begins, before apprehension puts its yoke upon you, this early meditation can fill your day with new courage and childlike happiness. Be prepared to start the day with you, and not the fears of yesterday. This will truly help you to know thyself. So she mentions another important thing about the Fool card is that when you really embody this energy, when you start the day, you're fully refreshed and new. You're awake. This is kind of what is truly meant by the phrase reborn. I don't know the exact phrase, but the idea of being reborn again. Every day when you wake up, you are essentially born again. And I don't mean to take this to the extreme, but the energy has changed. What's happened yesterday can be, people can be forgiven. It can be forgotten. You learn from it. You move on. Every day you start that new journey. And essentially, that's what we all have done in the beginning of our lives. This card is representative of being planted here on Earth. This idea of the notion of being human is the Fool card. We all have already taken that first step by becoming human. So I'll leave you with that, and hope this finds you well, and have a great day.